I can see you far and wide across the ocean, above the clouds. In your presence I am free. I hear your whisper through the wind. Here right now, there's no place that I would rather be. So let this moment last. I've searched myself, I've tried to figure out who I am, and you were always there to lift me up. 'Cause no one else can make me love like you. You give me strength, Lord, I finally know where I belong. I can feel you in the sunlight and through the cold nights. When I close my eyes, I am walking, oh Lord, beneath the starlight, a love so pure. Now, there's no place that I would rather be. So let this moment last. I've searched myself, I've tried to figure out who I am, and you were always there to lift me up. 'Cause no one else can make me love like you. You give me strength, Lord, I finally know where I belong.
Hey folks, I love to see all these names in the chat. You make me so happy, and I'm going to stay caught up on the chat tonight. Even though my Sunday lives are a bit more structured, I got this. I can do this. I can stay with the comments so that I'm not reading them 20 minutes after I have to close it out. So let me see who's here. Hi Catherine, Daniel. Oh, you're stuck at work. Dang. Well, I'd rather have you be safe, but hopefully you don't mind. Hi, Sally. That was a lot of fun last night, Sally. You and, was that your first time going live with Daryl? So, good debut there. That was fun. And Mike. Hi, Mike. How are those puppies? How are those puppies? Oh. Hi, Dan. How are you? Love to have you here. Let me see. Hi, Scott. Hey, Squirrel. How are you? I'm so happy you could join. I think everybody's saying hello. Hey, Glenn. Hi, Pearlman. Hi, Granny. All right. I'm all caught up. See? See, Lori, you can do it. All right. So I do have some notes tonight. But before I do that, I just wanted to do some shout outs this week. And first was to Sally and Daryl for hosting a trivia night last night and cooking. So we need to know, Sally, how did the chili come out? I think you said you were having it for breakfast, but I didn't hear the take on how it came out. So you will have to drop it in the chat and let us know. So that was fun. Granny, thank you so much for doing that video on the freeze dried. I don't know. I guess I live under a rock or something. I've never seen it before. Obviously, I've heard of freeze dried food, but I've never seen anybody who's done it before, and totally fascinated with it. So definitely one of those freeze dried dryers, ovens, I don't know what you call it, is definitely going on my birthday list. And did Pam join? I have a shout out to Pam too. Because her and her husband Dylan went live, what's today? Sunday, yesterday. And I think that was the first time they've gone live. So I guess yesterday was the day for couples. But they were super cute. They had a really fun live. And she made a comment telling, Dylan to tell us more about himself. She's like, people are tired of listening to me talk. So I just want to say, Pam, if you watch this on the replay, we are not sick of listening to you talk. So don't think that. Tyler went live Friday night. So kudos to him. And Yvonne did she does like a scripture reading every day. And that's Everyday Nana. And the one that she read this morning was around empathy. And there was it was talking about choosing kindness. And I know Granny says it all the time too. And, we can always choose kindness over being right. You don't always have to be right. So, you could also be kind and be right. But choose kindness over always having to, come out of the discussion as if you're the person who's right. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her and two others. So I just wanted to let folks know that Daniel has been kind enough to invite me on his live stream Wednesday night. So I will be doing that on DG Outdoor channel. And that's Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then lastly, I think I shared a few weeks ago that Debbie Sue had done a story around biscuits, and it was about a young boy who went to visit an older woman, brought biscuits, or she made biscuits. Anyways, there was an unlock there for me. It actually brought back a good memory. And I think I've shared, I don't have any good memories of my childhood. I really don't. But it gave me a good memory. So I think I shared that. Well, the other night I was watching one of CL's videos, and it was about some of her drawings, her cat drawings, and she turned it into coloring pages. And I did share this with her, but I had another good memory. So, the first one's like, okay. The second one, I'm like, okay, I don't believe in coincidences like that. And the memory that I had was my mother actually coloring with me. And I remember being disappointed in my coloring because it wasn't as good as my mother's. And I remember her telling me it's okay to color outside the lines, Lori. So I don't know. That's just a really special memory that I didn't know I had. So I'm actually starting to dig a little bit deeper to try and understand. I've heard of people blocking bad memories, but I guess I've never heard of people blocking good memories. So anyways, I wanted to give a shout out to CL for that memory. And I don't know, I'll keep you updated. I'm going to start digging. My sister and I have had lots of conversations, and this kind of ties into, I guess, what I'm going to talk about tonight is, our thought processes. We can experience the same exact situation and we both walk away with different. I mean, yes, she's like, yes, Lori, there was a lot of bad, but she remembers good, and I don't remember any of that. So, anyways, I just figured I'd share that, and I'll let you know if anything comes from it. So now, on to, let me just check. Everybody's saying hello. Am I going to learn about hunting squirrels and coloring, and cooking them, coloring them, and cooking them? No. I hopefully Daniel knows that I don't want to hunt a squirrel. He's very good at it, but I would not be. So, yeah, don't you love her coloring pages? I agree. I want to learn how to tell stories in motivational talks, but I can teach someone how to cook squirrels. That's okay, Daniel. I'm so happy you've had some good memories. You might find once you unlock those memories, more start to come. Maybe, right? Again, I didn't think much about that one. So, but now that there's two, I don't believe in coincidences. So, definitely going to dig into that. My sister, my mother, and I all have different memories of the exact same thing that happened in our childhood for my sister and I. For my sister and I find that very interesting. Yeah. You know, exactly. And that's actually how I was going to start my monologue, if you would, tonight. Because one thing I think we can all agree, our thoughts don't weigh anything, but man, can they be heavy at times, right? I mean, they can really weigh on us. And like I just said, two people like my sister and I, we can go through the same exact situation, and one barely makes it, and the other one comes out stronger, if you would. So I guess the difference is, at least for me, and please, anybody else who has experience, I think it's the way we process it in the stories we tell ourselves, right? So which brought me to how do we deal with the times that we have heavy thoughts, or we're going through a really tough season, or just a tough day. It doesn't even have to be a tough season. And I was leaving a comment for somebody the other day, and I just listed a couple of things that I do to help myself get through tough days, because I have them all the time, but I've gotten really, really good at processing them. So I thought I would just share some of the things that I do, and take what resonates with you and throw away the rest if nothing resonates. But then I'd also be very interested to hear what you folks do when you have tough times. And some of these things, I think they'll overlap with what you're doing. So so one of the things I do, and I do it at least once a day, I try and do it twice a day, is meditation. I don't know if anybody else does any type of meditation. And I'll try and do, I subscribe to this woman who does meditations, and they're about 10 to 15 minutes. But sometimes I don't have 10 to 15 minutes. So one of the things that I'll do is I actually have these, I don't know if anybody's familiar with them, these speakers. Has anybody used has anyone ever used like singing bowls? If you know what those are. So these speakers literally have the sounds of I call it a singing bowl. And there's two of them. And hopefully I'm not too loud, but they only go for 3 minutes. And I actually hold them in my hands when I'm meditating, because you can actually feel the vibration of them. But when I was first introduced to these, it was by this woman I go to for Reiki, and she had also put this headband on me that like measures your brain activity. It measures your breath. What else did it measure? And point being is using these when I was first introduced to them, it actually showed a difference in my brain activity, showing how it got much more calm. So anyways, point being is when I don't have a full 15 minutes to do a meditation, I use these. They're only 3 minutes, and it gets you into that meditative state a lot quicker. So these, I love these things. So that's one of the things that I do. And again, I should do it twice a day. If I'm honest, I probably, most of the time I only do it once a day. But I do have a goal of twice a day. So maybe that's something I need to work on. The other one is journaling, right? I have, there's so many things you can journal, whether it's, journaling gratitude. Sometimes, I'll journal something to my younger self. Sometimes one of the things that I'm starting to explore is journaling to my older self and trying to get some unlocks there. And one of the other things I do is I have this little, this little timer, and I will set it usually for 10 minutes, and I will do like a brain dump. I will not think about it. I will just write words on the page. And a lot of times I feel like it's whether it's a divine download or maybe my guardian angel, because I get, I just get a lot of insight when I do that. And I don't use a prompt or anything. I just set it and go and start writing, and whatever comes out comes out. Sometimes there's gibberish, there is no coherent meaning, but more times than not, I don't know, there's a lot of insight there. So that's another thing to do. And that is what I call automatic writing. Another one is obviously grounding. I think we even talked about that the other day a little bit. Getting outside in nature. Obviously, if you can go barefoot, if you can touch a tree, anything like that, but just even getting outside in the sun is huge. So, or, whether you can garden, because again, the earth has a negative charge. So when we connect with it, it kind of neutralizes us. So, and I know we talked about that the other day. And then, obviously, if you have pets, if you have any type of animals, they're really good too, because they bring you back into the present moment, which is where we really should all be living, is in the present moment, not in the past and not in the future. So that helps. And then the last thing is, I think it's the last thing, is humming. I don't know. And I was thinking about this the other day because I am constantly humming. And I knew that it would, it raises your frequency, but I actually then did a whole search on it. And it's amazing I knew it raised your frequency, but it actually vibrates your vagus nerve, which is the major nerve for relaxation. And there's also something powerful, not just about humming, but the humming and sound of your own voice. And it's been proven that you just hum for a few minutes and it literally will calm you down. So, and then breathing, also the breathing, which I know we've talked about. Whether it's in, breathe in deep for a count of 4, hold it, and then release for the double. So it'd be release for 8. Because one of the things that I've learned throughout all the different classes I've taken and whatnot is most of the time we don't breathe fully. And because of that, our nervous system will stay in a state of anxiousness. So if you could just learn to even breathe deep, that will calm down your nervous system. So, and I do have a bunch of prompts here. If anybody was interested, I could always put them in the description or send them to you. But I wrote down some of my favorite ones that I've used. And one of the other, when I journal, one of the other things I've started doing, but I think I might do a whole episode on this, is a synchronicity journal, just to help identify the things. Again, I don't believe in coincidences, so things happen for a reason. So now I look for clues, and that's what I call synchronicities. So I've started journaling anytime that I see something and recognize it. I'm like, yep, got to write that one down, just so that I can keep track and look back, and say, hey, see, I knew that was going to happen. Or so anyways. All right. Let me go back to the chat, see if anybody. Let me see. Right here. I wonder how it would be to change your narrative from I don't have any good memories to I'm open to remembering any good memories. Yeah, definitely reframing it. I agree, Catherine. So, especially now with some of the ones that seem to have to come through, definitely need to start reframing that. I agree. Thank you. Hey, Evie. Welcome. Yep, Scott agrees. It's a good reframe. Let me see. I found when I meditated more, it centered me and kept me super grounded. Yes. Does anybody else meditate? Have you tried it? For decades, I didn't have any memories of my mother before her first stroke. She died 2 months later when I was 12. She was 47. After working through more grief and therapy, memories started to come. Yeah, that's rough, Catherine. But that's good, right? It's good that, let me see, it's 12. How long did it take you to, when you say you started working through therapy, I mean, you were 12. I mean, did you start therapy later in life when you were an adult? Did you do it as a child? Just curious. Because I've gone through quite a bit of therapy and not once has a memory been able to come through. So I'm also, and I don't know if there's a correlation. Again, I don't believe in coincidences, but I will say that probably about a year or so ago, give or take, I actually, had a long conversation with my parents and forgave them. So I don't, again, it was a while ago. It was about a year ago, but I don't know if that has something to do with it. I was thinking about that the other day. That maybe since I was able to forgive them, that just opened something up, released something. I don't know. So, hey, Tyler. Not sure when you joined, but I gave you a shout out just to say that you did your first live on Friday, which I thought was awesome. You did a great job. Eating dinner. Made some soup. Yum. I listen to a meditation every night as I go to sleep, and I've done it for just over 3 years now. It's been life-changing. Yeah, I agree, Catherine. It has. I've been doing it for a very long time. Not sure how long, but a very, very long time. But again, I'd like to add that second one. I always do it in the morning. It's part of my morning, routine. Oh, that's right, CL. You were making chili too, I think you said this morning. Yes, to meditation. We used to have singing bowls. Now I either listen to calm chanting or relaxing music during my meditation session. Yeah, there's so much out there, isn't there, Dan? There's just so many ways to tap into, the right type of music, whether it's a certain frequency or, yeah, my daughter, she got certified in yoga back in 2020. I think it was 2020. And she took a couple classes, or maybe a class, on the singing bowls and how to use them. So that's when I was introduced to them. And yeah, she's very good at it. So, oh, so your chili came out good. The singing bowls, is that what you've never heard of, Daniel? And it stormed. Just changing an unhelpful narrative in my own life around weight loss. That'll share in my next video. Self-talk is a huge contributor. Yeah, and one of the things I like to say, Catherine, is would you ever talk to a friend? I don't mean you personally, but would we ever talk to a friend the way we talk to ourselves? I would say no. We just wouldn't. So all right, Sally, we need to work on that. I know you're a Mel Robbins fan. So have you read her High Five book? I've uncovered something big for myself 2 days ago in relation to losing weight. I'm excited to see what happens now that I've changed the way I'm talking to myself about it. Oh, that will be interesting, Catherine. You'll definitely have to share while you're on that journey. True, pets, children bring you back to the present. Yes, my granddaughter came over yesterday morning, so definitely brings me back to the present because I'm just chasing her around the house, which I absolutely love. Sometimes I want to lay in the dark and quiet and just relax, or go outside and just sit on my porch and look at the yard and just chill, right? Just get quiet. Just whether it's, you just listening to the noise outside, whether it's during the summer, obviously lots of noise, but even in the wintertime, there's the birds and whatnot. Or if you're near water, or absolutely the silence. There's a lot to be said. And I don't know if anybody can relate to this. You ever listen to music for a while, whether it's in your car or maybe out running or whatever, just, music, upbeat music to get you going. But then when you turn it off, isn't that the most glorious feeling to have that silence? Oh my goodness, I love it. I love that silence. Yes, I've heard humming is good, and I've done it at spiritual events and enjoyed it. Yeah, I knew it impacted our frequency, Catherine, but when I, started digging into it, because I had put it on my list, I didn't realize how much, how beneficial, grounded in science and whatnot. So I actually got to do a little bit more digging around it. I don't know if anyone told you this, Lori, but you kind of sound like Delilah. Oh, no. But Tyler, I take that as a compliment. Wow. I used to listen to her decades ago. Decades ago. Deep diaphragm breathing also stimulates that nerve. In for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. Okay, that's interesting because I've always been taught that you exhale for double the amount. Either way, it's good. So, and it's, there's probably different techniques. I think the 4-4, is that the box technique? So, but yes, if we could just learn to breathe deeper than we do, I think our cortisol levels would drop and we would go through, our days with more calm. So, hey, Allie. I did a synchronicity journal about 3 years ago, and it was so good. It really helped me remember those events. Right? See, that's what I want. I want, I want to see the breadcrumbs. Because I know breadcrumbs are left. I know the seeds are left. So, but now I want to be able to go back and actually witness it and say, see? So, you should try it, Evie. And one of the things is people say, I can't meditate because the thoughts just keep coming in. That's okay. Your thoughts are always going to come in. They're never going to stop. They're really not. But I don't think meditation is to get rid of all those thoughts. But it's definitely to live in conjunction with those thoughts. But also, for me, it's more about like the downloads and stuff that I get. But yeah, and sometimes the brain will go off and it'll think about, all these to-dos I have to do. And I'll be like, yeah, we'll talk about that after. Come back. And, so you never actually ever sit without a thought in your head. So, and I think that, that's what prevents a lot of people from continuing with the practice, because they're like, oh, I can't stop thinking. I just keep thinking. So I have had flashes of bad things. Once it was from the pattern on a floor tile that we moved into when I was 12. It was a memory from when I was 3. And do you know what that, have you learned what that memory is, or do you just still get these flashes or pieces of memory? I'm really, really fascinated by this, especially just with, like I said, the last few weeks. And what I did learn, is Rhonda on? Because she may know this. Like I said, I've heard of people blocking out, some of the bad memories or whatever. But supposedly, blocking out good memories is a huge thing too. It happens more than we realize it happens. And so again, I don't know why I would have blocked out bad memories unless it was a coping mechanism for me, because I made the decision just because of everything. Again, I was estranged from my parents. I left home at a very young age. So maybe it was a mechanism to protect me, so I wouldn't have good memories to help me make that decision. I don't know. I'm certainly not going to answer it here, but lots of different things. I went to therapy at 24 and went off and on for about 10 years. The good memories came after therapy, and probably only in the last 7 to 10 years. Wow. Okay. So then, that's encouraging, Catherine. Thank you. Oh yeah, Let Them. I think that was her last book. "100%, I wouldn't be that mean. I've been learning to be more compassionate with myself these last few years." Oh, this is the question about, would you say that to a friend? Oh my goodness, I know. So anytime you talk to yourself, would you say that to a friend? And if you wouldn't, then, don't say it to yourself. That, and I did a video on this. We've got to learn to be our own best friend. We really do. So... Oh, and before I forget, at the end, and I actually went to visit my friend Ed the other day, the guy who wrote Thoughtuary, and he signed all my books for me. So I do want to give one of the books away today. So just drop in the comments if you're interested in it. Anybody who has written down your goals for 26, first, I want to know that you wrote down your goals, pen to paper. And anybody that has accomplished a goal, I want to know that. So, and then I will pick at the end if you're interested. But, I know anybody can go buy the book off of Amazon, but you can't have a signed copy from them. So, And he wrote a little note in it. So anyways, drop that in the comment before I forget. Let me see where I am. That should say I read all Mel Robbins' books at least twice. Do you listen to her podcast, Sally? There was a time that I listened to her every single day. Every single day. So she has some really good guests on. So her and Diary of a CEO. I really like his stuff too. I had a big talk down to myself a few hours ago about YouTube. Tyler, no talking down. So, but it's good. It's good that you reached out. I don't know if you reached out or if Scott just happened to reach out. Maybe he was intuitive and knew that you needed someone to talk to. But, we're also not meant to be alone. We're meant to live in a community. So when you are having a struggle like that, you always got to reach out to somebody. You always got to have that person. Always. Hope everyone is having a good night. I made steak and onions with some potatoes. Okay, Allie, I haven't had dinner yet. Got the whole family together for a Sunday dinner. That sounds amazing. And you could probably cook out on your grill, right? Because it's not 2 feet of snow outside. Did anybody in Florida get any weather? I know Granny didn't. I think last she said it was in the 70s or 80 maybe. I know there was concern that maybe there'd be some ice in the northern part of Florida, and I don't really know where you all live. Did anyone get any cold weather or ice or anything in Florida? Hey, Perlman. I'm glad you're here. It's Glenn, right? And you're Sally's neighbor, right? My mother used to say silence is golden. I agree. Yes. Yes. Man, it's just, it's like a silent shower. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Tyler, everything is going to be okay, my friend. Yes, Daniel. Liked your new hunting video. Oh, see, it was box breathing. Yep. I have to stop and take deep breaths quite often throughout the day. Asthma, and I've had lung surgery. Oh, wow, Mike. So is it hard for you to take deep breaths? Curious about that. Didn't really get to make a video. Wish I would have got something, and then I would have. Oh, the hunting. I live in constant distraction, and that is what I'm used to. When you say you're used to it, Evie, does that bring you comfort? Is that, because there is such a thing as organized, chaos. And for some people, that is what brings them, that's what brings them clarity. That's what brings them, I have, heard of that. So curious. You got a great group here, Tyler. Definitely lean on us. In the Bible, it talks about holding thoughts captive. You're right, right? It's okay to hold those good ones, but it's never the good ones. It's always the bad ones. Whether we're thinking about yesterday that we can't go back and change, or we're worried about tomorrow. That's why we need to ground ourselves as much as possible into today. My anxiety and ADHD keep my thoughts going and going. Do you have any practices, Daniel, that you do for your anxiety? Like when you go out fishing, does that calm you? Do you read? what makes you feel good? Is there anything that, releases that? And it looks like you're in good company. I mean, I think we all are, right? I mean, we all have those. Yeah. I listed off 6 or 7 things that I do, but again, that doesn't mean I always have good days. Far from it. And sometimes I never know when a wave of emotion's going to come over. But I try really hard to just let it happen and definitely not suppress it anymore. So, but I think sometimes when you're working on these things, some of this starts bubbling up, and I think that's why sometimes things get emotional. So, I asked my mom if we had the same tile when we lived in Puerto Rico. It was my face being, oh my goodness. Wow. Evie, I'm so sorry. That is. So do you actually remember the event, or is it just these flashes that keep coming back? Wow. We are all super hard on ourselves. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. I think all of us get anxious at different times. There's certainly things that still trigger me, but and again, I had asked somebody the other day if my inner child would ever fully be healed, and the answer was no, no. But you can learn, that inner child can learn how maybe she doesn't have to carry, all that responsibility anymore. I mean, I truly owe her my life. And, I tell her she doesn't have to constantly be standing guard. But so I guess at almost 60, if she's not healed yet, I guess I kind of knew the answer before I asked. But I was hoping for a different answer. Hey there, Delilah is stuck in my. We all know Delilah, right? I mean, who didn't? She used to be on, was it Magic 106.7 for the longest time? I know she went to different channels, but that's where I remember her from. Okay, add you to the book. Did you write down your goals, Sally? Do you at least have your goals, Sally, for 2026? Evie Eden. Oh, that is such a sad memory. What's it like, New York City, Scott? Times Square can't shine as bright as you. Oh, you too. Okay, so CL, you got some snow? A lot? Well, I guess any snow in Florida doesn't matter, right? Any snow in Florida is a lot. It's going down to 36 degrees Tuesday. It was 77 and sunny today. Yeah, 36 is cold. I mean, it's cold, it'd be cold here, so certainly in Florida. How often do you guys go below like 50? I mean, do you guys own winter jackets? Do you have enough days that you would have to own a winter jacket? I found out long ago that you have to have a hobby to completely forget everything for an hour here and there and always have something to look forward to. Vacation, a night out, a movie. You 100%, now that you say that, 100%. Anytime you have something to look forward to, right? Whether it's, a birth of a child, a vacation, a grandchild coming, you know, moving, anything. 100% agree with that. So, and the hobby part as well. I mean, we all need something. Silence is golden, duct tape is silver. Has anybody invested in silver? Not to get off track. I heard that, it went crazy high. I don't know if that's, I don't really follow it, but I heard it went crazy high. And so much so that the banks don't really know what they're going to do. So, but if silence was golden, my live stream would be very short. No. If silence was golden, I did not. Okay. All right. I'm slow tonight, Scott. I don't get that. As a joke, I'm moving to New Zealand for the winter months and then June back to the U.S. No more. Yeah, no kidding, right? Don't laugh. That's why my daughter went out west. She absolutely despises the snow, even though she grew up here. That's why she's out in Arizona. No, it's not hard to take a deep breath, but when I get active or stares, I breathe faster, shallow, and then I have to stop, take a deep breath to control my breathing. Yes, it really does. It does. Because sometimes, especially when I started running again, Mike, whenever, in 2020, it was like I had to relearn how to breathe all over again because I hadn't run in such a long time. And if I couldn't get it down right, I almost felt like I was hyperventilating on my run and I would literally have to stop. So yeah, it's almost like you have to get, I had to learn this rhythm all over again for me. I know it's not exactly the same, but I do understand where you're like, you couldn't breathe. You couldn't get that breath. So that's how I felt when I started running again. It took a while. It took a few months, if I remember, to get back into it. And even every now and again, if I don't go out, I don't know, if I don't go out right, my breath is off and it impacts the whole run. Like I just feel like I can't breathe on my run. So I got my stickers. My husband gives me emotional support hugs. He sees when I am having anxiety, and I'm glad to have such a support. That is awesome, Allie. That really is. It's so important to have, your partner be your best friend like that. And I was telling Sally that the other day. This is before I even saw their live stream last night, but I could see the interaction between her and Daryl when she does her live streams in the morning. And just the love and respect that they have for each other. Yeah, they tease and kid, but you could tell it was teasing and kidding. It just jumps through the screen. And I told her that. So that's awesome. That's awesome to have that. Flashes of my hair gripped and the floor getting bigger. And wow. You got to work on that, Evie. If that keeps reoccurring, that is just so sad. I'm so sorry. It was a spotted floor. Like those spotted floor, like those old linoleum type of floors. Is that what you mean? Remember that had all the speckles in it or whatever? As a matter of fact, as I'm listening to you, I am working on my goals, Lori. So please stop going in my. Just shut the door. Just shut the door. Tell me to leave. It wasn't really snow. It turned to rain. It'll be 28 tonight. That's cold. That's cold. And sometimes, snow's better than that freezing rain because that's when it gets really slippery. And I would imagine you don't have any sand trucks down there or anything. So, but I would also imagine I used to work with folks who lived in North Carolina, and every now and again they would get snow, and everything would literally just shut down until it melted. So I would imagine that Florida is the same way. I don't own a winter jacket and have never turned on the heat in my house. Yeah, you always look pretty warm when you go out, Scott. So again, maybe you're more in the southern part of the state, or again, I don't know where Palm Coast is in the state, but that's where my friend lives, and I know she gets excited when she can wear a winter jacket, so because she misses the cold. I think she's crazy, but she misses the cold. I have a fancy fake long fur coat from Canada. I get to wear it maybe twice a year. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Twice a year's good. Just enough to know what it feels like. From October till May will be below 50. What? Seriously? I thought this was just a cold stretch right now. You're saying this is normal? Though, my husband was supposed to fly out tomorrow morning to go to Arizona. It's the only direct flight out of Boston to Phoenix. Obviously, it got canceled. So he's still trying to get out tomorrow. So he had to rebook for something in the afternoon. I think he's crazy because they're probably going to cancel that too. But he was deciding between Minnesota. What's the big hub in Minnesota? Or Chicago? And I told him he should go out. He should connect in Minnesota, not Chicago. He says that they're used to the cold, I think, but I didn't realize it was from October to May. Yes, in the silver. I've never seen you in a coat, Scott. I think I've only seen you in long sleeve. In short sleeves. We got a foot of snow and it's still coming down. So you're in Pennsylvania. So it's still snowing there. It didn't start. Well, it wasn't supposed to start till about noon here, but it actually started about 10:30. And yeah, it's still coming down. My husband's already done one pass with the snowblower. You wouldn't even know. So it was fun trying to take care of the chickens today in that. So they are great together. And again, they were great last night together, but I could feel their energy even before I saw them. I guess just from his comments, and he's so protective of her, and I don't know. You can just tell they're in love, right, Sally? I've been trying to find out how much the total is, but Alexa will give me a total, and well, serious, it's just a pain. Yeah, No, it started snowing because my daughter called me. Again, I don't know where you are, Sally. She's in State College, so I don't know where you are in relation to that. But yeah, it started a lot earlier down there. You guys, probably 4, 5, 6 hours before us. My husband is a lot like Daryl. I feel like Sally's lives are safe places. They are safe places because there's plenty of people on there that, was it this morning? I can't now. I'm losing track of my days, but it might have been this morning, Sally, where you had a few trolls. And everybody was who could get to him first type of thing. So do you usually go live on the weekend, Sally? I didn't think you did. So if you usually go live, I should update that file. So I just happened to catch you. I didn't, because I wasn't looking for you. I didn't know you went live on the weekends. Scott, those M65 jackets with the liners are awesome. Part of the reason the military used them for so long. "12 inches at 3, but I know it snowed more." Yeah, I think roughly the whole, you're going to at least get 18, I think is going to be the general number. And then it's supposed to stop for like a good 4 or 5 hours or something like that. And then you're going to get another 5 inches after that or so. So. We had a freeze 2 years ago and all the tilapia died. Oh, yeah, that's sad. That's sad. Yes, my life can be a safe place except for Daryl when I have that big old clapper in my hand. Does he work nights, Sally? Does he work the overnight shift? I don't know why. For some reason, I think that. Sally can let you know tomorrow. I'm going to shovel my driveway after I get my kids to bed. Oh, yeah. The only thing is with it being so cold, at least it's really, really light. At least it was today. I don't know if it'll get heavier, but, and knock on wood, nobody's lost any power that I'm aware of. Palm Coast is up by Alley and Granny, about 3 hours south from there. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, and Granny said it was pretty warm today, I think. Or whatever day she did that video. May not have been today. Yes. I think that's the hub. It was the Delta hub. Does Delta have a hub out of Minneapolis? No, I don't think so. Perlman, I so wanted to build a snowman today, but it was not packing snow. Did you see how it was coming down, like lifting powdered sugar real fine? Yeah, it's because it's so cold. It was so light and fluffy, but that's also why we're getting so much of it. Is it still snowing, Daniel? Or has it gone through? Has it passed there? Has anyone heard from Rhonda? I don't think she's on. Has anyone heard from her? I know there was a lot of concern for Texas because they were getting ice. And if we all remember what happened, I guess just 4 years ago, that was a nightmare. Oh, that's from Frozen. Are you singing, Scott? Sally, get your microphone out. They're very quick. Yes. The trolls were horrible this morning. Yeah. Okay. So you do go live every day. I will update that then. So I didn't realize that. Sorry about that. No daylight. He listens while he's at work. Okay. Yep. Yep. I think Mike just goes from one channel to the next channel to the next channel. But like you said, it's probably the best thing to listen to, right? I mean, you can't listen to the news. Oh my goodness, you can't listen to the news. I don't know how I used to listen to the news. I did. I did. That's great, Sally. It just started downpouring hard rain. Yeah, but if it's 28 degrees, that's freezing rain, which is never a good thing. Do you want to build a snowman? Come on, let's go play. Are you doing this because Daniel hates this movie or something? Oh, okay. So you heard from her today. So she's okay. Okay. Okay, good. Did you see my snowman video? Oh, I got to pick up the pace. I think I saw Rhonda on Having Fun in Nature or somebody's live stream today. Okay, I was on their live stream. I didn't see her, but okay, good. Good. That means she has power and things are good. You know what, Sally, you may know this. Does Yvonne have a live stream right after me at 8? How'd you like Darylyn? I snow people. I'm going to be singing Frozen songs tomorrow. My coworkers will not think it is funny. Oh my goodness, right? I loved that movie when it first came out, and then they overdid it. My goodness. If we didn't have each other's live streams to hang out on and chat at. I know. I mean, we had something to do Friday night. We had something to do last night. Been on live streams since 4 o'clock this afternoon. You guys have probably done more than that. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to hop on there too. Okay, so 2 things. Well, I didn't see anybody else say they wanted the book, Sally. So if that is the case, if nobody else, then you win by default, my friend. But let me just at least read the entry. Be the first to let someone know. Start the standing ovation. The next time you're moved, touched, or inspired, don't hesitate. Stand, yell, applaud. Be the first to show someone they connected with you that all their hard work, passion, and sacrifice was worth it, and that they succeeded in what they came there to do. So start the standing ovation. It will matter to them more than you'll ever know. So ask yourself this. The last time I was moved by someone's work, did I take the opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate it? So that was it. That was January 25th. All right, folks, 8 o'clock. I did it. I kept up with the, I'll do the last few. Have a great week. I will see you guys throughout the week. And Sally, I will see you on Yvonne's live stream. I love you guys. Take care.